Hello, it's Nick Holmes from the Fall of the Roman Empire podcast. Just a quick update on the next season, which I'm very excited about because it'll cover the reign of the Emperor Justinian, when his famous general Belisarius reconquered much of the West. As you may know, it's an amazing story. Belisarius set out with an army not much more than 15,000 strong and first defeated the Vandals in North Africa and then went on to defeat the Ostrogoths and reconquer Italy and Rome. We have an excellent record of this time from the legendary Roman writer Procopius, so it's become one of the best known bits of late Roman history. But there are still lots of mysteries about this age, and the one that I'm particularly interested in is why did the Eastern Roman Empire launch this great reconquest in the 530s when it stood by and watched the Western Empire die in the first half of the 5th century? If you listen to the last episode, 67, you'll have heard that I think there was a strong link between Attila and the remilitarization of the Eastern Roman Empire in the half-century before Belisarius's wars of reconquest. So we'll be exploring that theme in the next episode when we start with the Emperor Marcian, who took over, as you'll recall, from the feeble Theodosius II in 450. Another subject I'd like to explore is the Eastern Roman army. Unlike earlier periods when we have almost no commentary at all on the Roman army, Procopius has left us with detailed descriptions of it, and we know that Belisarius's army was probably the best fighting force in the world. One reason for this was that the late Romans had picked up the tactics and skills of their enemies. They had horse archers like the Huns, armoured cavalry like the Persians, and they added disciplined heavy infantry, which had always been the hallmark of the Roman legions. So a 6th century Roman army was a formidable opponent for anyone and overwhelmed the Vandals and Ostrogoths. But for me, the question is, when did this army change from the outdated army of the 5th century? So we'll be exploring that. And of course, it's not just about the Roman army. The age of Justinian was incredibly rich and eventful in so many other ways. Justinian is famous not just for the wars of reconquest, but for his legal code, which had a profound effect on the development of law in the West, and his extraordinary building programme, which has left us with the incomparable Hagia Sophia in modern Istanbul. His age was also a time of climate change and plague. There was the late antique Little Ice Age, probably caused by volcanic activity, which devastated the Roman economy and contributed to a major plague, the first bubonic plague in human history, which in its turn caused further economic damage and depopulation. And we'll also look at what was happening outside Roman borders, at the Persians, and what they were up to as they confronted their own barbarian invaders in the form of the White Huns, and the Ostrogoths, who rose to stardom under their king, Theodoric the Amel, and the Franks and others. So the next few episodes should be very exciting, and I'm pleased to say I'll start them in September, but a little later than I've previously mentioned. So the first episode will be on Saturday the 16th of September rather than on the 2nd. Sorry about that delay, but I've been distracted with completing my third book in my series on the fall of the Roman Empire called Rome and Attila, which I hope will be out later this year. Plus the usual things like holidays and some rather time-consuming building work. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to mention that Amazon is discounting my first book to 99 cents for the ebook on August 21st for a week. It's called The Roman Revolution, and it looks at the crisis of the 3rd century and the new Roman Empire that emerged under Diocletian and Constantine. And of course, if you want a completely free ebook, please visit my new website at nickholmesauthor.com, where you'll find my first book called The Byzantine World War, about the decline of the Byzantine Empire and the start of the Crusades. So, thanks for listening to this update, and see you soon.